Monday it was when I was talking about the most desired careers in 2025. This is for everybody. They got to this conclusion by the most Googled questions about careers. I want to be a boom. And in South Africa, it was a pilot, strangely enough. And we found out that there's a shortage of pilots in South Africa, I think globally. And the money is pretty serious, being a pilot. Number one in the world was a lawyer. We spoke to a lawyer and we found out what it's really like. And it's not quite like TV, but fun nonetheless, if that's your thing. It has its
rewards.
Yeah. And so number two was a YouTuber. Okay. And that is, if you ask any little kid now what they would like to be, it's a YouTuber.
And 20 years ago, this career didn't really exist.
No.
I mean, people being able to make a living from that platform and many others.
Yeah. And you look at the likes of Mr. Beast, Jake Paul, they were all right at the forefront of this digital revolution, right? But we also have our very own leader in the global scheme of things. We've got Wian. Good morning, Wian.
Welcome.
Hello, Wian.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for the applause. I wasn't expecting that.
Now people know exactly who you are. Wian is the guy that does magic, all right? And that's what got him up to on YouTube. He punches like 16 to 20 million subscribers. That's subscribers.
Sure.
Which subscribers versus views is, I mean, you'll get 100 million views on something and you can have only 50 subscribers. So the fact that you've got like almost 20 million subscribers is huge.
That's a loyal following.
You are the GOAT in South Africa. Good morning, Wian.
No, guys, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate that.
Come all the way from Pretoria.
Yeah, I'm originally from the Free State, but yeah, I've been moving around like a lot, so great to be here.
So listen up, little ones. Wian is going to tell you how he did it and what you need to do to get there. Because I know you're all about subscribers. You're all about likes. You're all about views.
What's the recipe? How do we get there?
Yes, well, this man knows it and he wants to help you. Firstly, let's just walk it back. I said, I've watched so many of your videos on TikTok.
Say it, Darren.
TikTok, but on YouTube, all right? Also on Instagram. And I loved when you show us how you do the trick. Okay, so that was one of your things. And because I always used to Google those sorts of things. And is it true? So were you first and foremost a magician?
Yes, so I did that at school. I got into my first videos with that, and then eventually I put out other stuff like comedy sketches with my girlfriend. I saw a lot of success with that, like on Instagram. But the magic videos, the short videos, they always hit. They always get the views. So on long form, I'm more like teaching people how to grow as well, how to get subscribers, how to get followers. But yeah, the magic videos are absolutely still there. A lot of short videos as well on that.
Now, when we were speaking earlier this week, now this is really going to get your attention, Mom and Dad. Because Wian, just off YouTube, a month, you're making between 200 and 300,000 Rand.
Yeah, that's correct.
Is that consistently? It's not like some fluke 1 month. This is consistently every month you're making that kind of cash.
Yes, that's where we've been at now for I think the last 2 years. And it just comes down to how much content you're actually putting out and keeping the quality as well. I think that's where people struggle, like to have the volume and the value. I think both are important.
And the consistency. I mean,
Yes.
I've followed wonderful YouTubers and then they disappear.
Because they've made enough money.
They disappear, never to be heard from again. And then they pop back up and that relationship has changed now, or you've moved on and it's not the same.
So, by the way, Wian, you are speaking to two influencers here.
There we go.
3.
Sibs and
I have
Shilin.
been so inactive. I don't think I deserve that
And
title.
a reluctant influencer with Darren, Wian.
There we go.
So Wian, let's take. Are you even on Facebook?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. So now you've got Facebook, you've got TikTok. Let's pick the big four. Okay, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Am I missing any?
No, those are the ones.
Okay, I know for the gamers it's Twitch and stuff, but of those four, is YouTube the one that makes you the most money?
Yes. So the one I've got the biggest following on is TikTok.
Yeah.
But you don't really make any money from TikTok. I use that just to advertise, and that's where I work with the brands.
Yeah.
But on YouTube, that one directly pays, like from the ad revenue. So depending on how many views you get.
So that's not from getting views. That's from monetizing your account and saying, put adverts, and then that's when we skip after 5 seconds.
Yes, those are the ones.
Right.
And before you were making this amount of money, how much were you making as you were growing your account?
Yeah, so when I started, like the first videos, I was just getting brand deals. And I was happy to get like, a free pair of shoes just to make a video. But I think that's a thing that a lot of influencers do wrong, is they're kind of making the market cheap in that way. Like
For free lunches.
Yes, and I think, there's companies...
Sibs has a lot of free lunches there.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
What's the pink hotel there?
No, I've taken...
The Radisson this weekend. She was at a free lunch
That
there.
was an actual launch.
Well, no.
This is why people don't invite
No,
you
he's
to
just
things.
mad that he didn't get invited.
Yeah.
No, honestly, like I still take those. I
Does that
mean,
include dessert? Does it? I'll give you extra video. Yeah. Okay, sorry, Wian.
no worries. I think that's what draws a lot of people. Like, I got to go to the Soccer World Cup. I was sponsored. I wasn't paid, but I got to go. Same with the Maldives.
Oh,
so
my
it's very
word.
attractive. But I think at some point you need to know when you do ask money and when someone is like, taking that opportunity like away from you, I guess.
Wian, I think
Parents, sorry, Sharon. Parents, call in now with your questions, please, on 082 945 0940, because you're ready to hijack your kid's account. But when you hear between 200 and 300,000 rand a month, Wian is earning just off YouTube. Now, just remember, the average South African wage is 17,202 rand. That's the average South African wage. Okay. Oh, bro, that is serious money. Is SARS coming for their slice as
Oh
well?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we had to learn everything about tax the moment I was making money, because I knew nothing. Like I didn't know. That's the thing about being in content. Like didn't do very well at school. So
Now, what is the secret to a video going viral? If there is even a definition. I know with your videos, I can pick up the clues. You need a hottie in a bikini that you're doing a trick on.
well,
Yes.
well, it's
Beautiful location and great magic.
It's funny. It always changes.
Yeah.
So I think no one truly knows, because I think that's the whole idea of viral. The meaning of viral is you didn't expect it. That's why sometimes you'd work so hard on a video, and then the one you just made with your mom, which is like a little prank, that one just blows up. And this happens a lot. Most people I've spoken to, this happens to them. So what I've noticed is, what I do is, if I post 10 videos, the 10 ones that I know would work best, and maybe 1 or 3 hit, then I'm like, okay, this is good, okay? Now, on my 11th video, I'll post something that's, I'll post something that might be different. So something that I've never done before. And then if that hits, which is where we're at now, then I'm like, okay, let's double down on this. Like, people like this now. And I think that's how people should look at it, because I think everyone wants to go viral from one video and then they stop because the next one doesn't go viral. But I say it's kind of like Disney. Like, they release so many movies that didn't end up being a success, and then they released Snow White. And that one covered the damage of all those, and it even exceeded the expectations. So that's how I look at videos. I don't try to refresh the views the whole time, because it depresses you if you've worked so hard on a video.
Yeah.
So I just try to post the whole month, and then I look at, okay, where was the results? And then I see, okay, this was worth it. There were 2 videos that pretty much made all the money, and then I just keep going.
I think one of the big misconceptions is, you'll hear, hey, Wian's making 200,000 to 300,000 rand a month, and it's just him and his cell phone. But there's a machine behind you, isn't there? There's actual fixed costs.
Yeah, I think that's a common misconception, is everyone wants to get into it because it looks like you can just grab your camera and do it.
Yeah.
And although I think that you should play it like that for some
and use
time.
what you have.
Yes, because I think a lot of people overthink it. So although you need those technicalities, you need the team, you need the right camera, I think that's also the main reason no one starts. It's because they're like, oh, I don't have a camera yet, or I
And that's
really
30
like that
grand.
one. Yes,
30 grand.
and I grew the majority of my following with an iPhone in my
no
mom's house.
excuses.
So yeah, so I truly think, like, keep it authentic, but try to provide value, because it is hard to give value if you're just at home the whole day vlogging, making food. But I think just, bringing some comedy in, or your personality, because people really like your personality.
Authenticity. Yeah.
Yes, and yeah.
Clearly, you don't work a normal 9 to 5, and many people think content creation is so easy. Wian is just chilling all day and then makes a 2-minute video. But how many hours, how much time actually goes into content creation for you on the daily?
Yeah, I always say I would never be that person who says like, oh, it's the hardest job in the world, because it's not. But it's still hard work, because I dedicate the whole day to it. So whether that's answering emails from sponsors, whether that's actually making the content, I see no reason why I would only spend half an hour on it. Because I can make it better. So many people come up to me, they're like, oh, they just don't have the time, or they say, how do I grow? How do I get a following? But then they posted 2 months ago. That was their last post. And I always say, like, a lot of people say because they're at their work, like, they can't do it. And then I'm like, well, if you can make a video in 30 minutes, then, you can make a video every day.
I've literally watched a woman eat her lunch in her cubicle at work.
There you go.
I watch people clean carpets, and I go, oh, don't miss that spot. Don't go. Oh, yes, she got it. Yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my favorite genre is Indian street food.
That always.
That always.
Yeah, that
hits.
catches you.
So, walk us back to day one of you deciding to do this.
So when I started, like when I was around 15, I was posting videos literally in my bedroom, just doing card tricks on the table. Nothing happened, of course. Like I was filming on a BlackBerry.
Was this at the time when Casper Lee was all the rage?
Yes. Yeah.
Casper was the king.
Yeah. So so I always posted. Like I've always been posting on YouTube. I don't think there's the things such as overnight success. I mean, it took years to get overnight success.
Yeah.
So the first viral video, me and my brother, we went to Durban.
Caught a bus to Durbs.
Yeah, took a bus, like my last money. I'm like, okay, let's get some of these videos done. We go on the beach, filming some magic tricks with some girls, like very quick.
In bikinis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
secret. Yep.
so yeah, and I mean that's. I'm literally standing there. I'm like, okay, I need to film this, because I saw the other guys go viral with this overseas.
Yeah.
And I thought, let me just go into it. And I was doing this just to get more like events. I get booked for more events. I posted that video on Facebook, and it got 15 million views.
Sure.
And before that, I only got like 5 views a video for years. And it like changed my life, because I was like scrolling, refreshing my page, and suddenly like the Springboks are contacting me, like they want to see me, and suddenly I get invited to Dubai, and I'm like, wow, what's happening? And so I kept doing that, but the other videos did well, but they didn't do that well, because I think that was like the shock. Like the country was like, wow, I didn't know someone does this.
Yeah.
And there are people who do it, but I think, again, like just taking that step, because that video as well, I was procrastinating it, because I wanted it to be perfect. And then I realized, like, no, let me just do this. Like this trick that I wanted to film with a girl on this beach with that view in the background, I'm like, let's just do it at a KFC, right?
Yeah.
Let's just do it at a KFC. And that ended up going even more viral, because it was more real.
Yeah.
And yeah, then in 2020, I hopped onto TikTok, grew 16 million there. And yeah, basically YouTube, which eventually took over and actually paid the big money. So that's a quick little story on that.
So I'm opening YouTube today.
Yeah, but don't get discouraged when you must get 3 views for a video. You have to keep going.
The problem is that I don't know what I'm doing on social media.
But
I have
Wian,
no idea.
what are your top tips for someone starting today with zero everything? I want to be like Wian. I want the following. I want the money. I want the content. How do I get there?
I think the first thing is to understand that everyone starts at zero. So everyone you look at, Mr. Beast, he started with 0 subscribers. He didn't wake up or when he opened his YouTube account, he was like, oh yeah, I've got 30 million. He also had 0. He also probably had 10 videos in a row at 0. I think everyone should just, they should ask themselves, like, when was the last time I actually posted? How much effort have I put into this? Because look, it's not, like I said, it's not the hardest job in the world, but being consistent, not being too perfect with it, but still keeping that value. I think one of my number one tips is pay attention to what other people are doing as well. Everyone's so scared of copying, but they say great artists take and bad artists steal. So look at what's working for other people, put your own spin on it. For instance, if you're singing, that time when everyone went viral in the parking lots, that's, if you were a singer, like, take that opportunity, like, sing your own songs in the parking lots, right? And I think that's what everyone should be doing. Like, spend some time on TikTok, spend some time on Shorts, look at what other people are doing, and try to implement that for yourself, because if it's working for them, there's no reason it can't work for you.
Now, are the hashtags that important still? And also, when they started to, it used to be a free-for-all, and then Facebook and Insta, they started to go, okay, well, I'm going to throttle you, and I'm only going to show this to 5% of your viewers. If they comment and all that, that'll dictate whether or not we spread it more. But the end goal was for these social media companies to make money. So they were like, okay, we're only going to give you 10% of your views, but if you put 200 Rand behind this video, then we're going to put it to 20%. If you put 1,000 Rand, we'll get it to 40%. And so that machine works like that. So what is the secret now? Must you put money behind a post, or is it just hashtag still?
So I always say, like, don't worry about your hashtags. That's 5% of your video at most. Like, the main focus is the quality. I've used several different hashtags. Sometimes I haven't used hashtags, and the same thing happens. So I'm sure it could make a difference. But to me, the whole money thing, like putting money behind it, I think back when Facebook was huge, I think which it still is. But I think, yes, people who were just having standard posts and for their company, like, they wanted to put money into the ads, which still obviously works. But if you're trying to get large viewership, if you're into content, like maybe for your business, you've got a page, you've maybe grown to 10,000 followers or so, I think you're better off with organic content. And the thing is, most of these apps, so TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, they want people to spend time on these platforms. So they're going to try to distribute your video to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
So I think back with when Facebook had, like, I would say, the monopoly, they were like, okay, so you want viewership, we're going to charge you money. But the others came along wanting that viewership, wanting people to stay on the app. So that's why you saw TikTok, like, everyone was going viral on it.
Because the currency is people's attention.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes,
that's true.
That's where the value is.
Yeah. Listen, we're speaking to Wian. We'll take your questions after we got news and some other stuff to do, but it's a fascinating conversation, man, because I think this is what everybody's trying to crack now in 2025.
Yeah.
Because it is so fruitful. I'll tell you again. Wian, just off YouTube, between 200 and 300,000 Rand a month he makes. Hey, brother, man. Your parents, what are they going like? You know, this kid never got out of the bedroom. Now look at it. He's earning more money in a month than we earn in a year.
Yeah, well, look, I always say I think I was very fortunate with that as well, because my parents were always just very supportive. Like, I was that kid. Like, if I wanted to be a WWE wrestler, right? I couldn't just watch something and let it go. My mom had to make, like, Spider-Man costumes for me as a kid. Like, I was taking the photos, but so yeah, eventually this was the one that stuck, and they've been very supportive. I think they always knew I was going to do something strange, but I don't think they ever thought, like, okay, he's actually going to make money from it. So yeah.
Sure. Well, I love these stories. We've got YouTube superstar in studio with us, telling us on our inverted commas careers day on how you can make a success out of becoming a YouTube TikTok star, because you can get the views and spend all your day doing it, but if you're not going to be making money out of it, that's the end goal, isn't it? You want to make it a career, and with that you need to support yourself.
But
So
for a lot of people, it's a hobby, right? Like, it's just a fun space to be creative.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily always about being a YouTube star.
Yeah, I think if you're happy with the work you're currently doing and you're doing this as a side thing, sure thing. But I do think if you say, okay, no, I want to make money out of this, then you have to pay a bit attention, like you said, to what are people looking for, like, and kind of twist your content around that as well, like providing value, maybe more tutorials, and because a lot of people want to film their lives, but they might not have that credibility yet that people want to watch their vlogs. Maybe if they started like providing some value, like, you know, showing that they're a comedian, showing they are good at cooking, then eventually the vlogs can follow. I guess that's what I've learned a lot. Yeah.
We've got some general comments here, and then we've got some questions. All right, here's some of the comments.
I don't want to hijack my kids' account. They don't have accounts. How do I start my own account? How would you make that kind of money? Cheapers. Yo.
I was explaining to my daughter the other day that Elon Musk is the richest person in the world. She says, "Daddy, is he richer than Mr. Beast?"
Yeah, those are her celebrities, you know. Okay, so here's some questions. Let's start with the first one. Yeah, Wian.
Hi, Wian. I'm Riley. I'm 12. I'm thinking of starting a YouTube channel, but I'm stuck at the editing and the logistics. Could you please say which programs are good for editing?
Sure. I think anything that you're comfortable with, if there's apps that you've played around with, because otherwise you have to teach yourself from the start. But I use Final Cut. It's very simple, and I think if you're going to learn one, like, just stick to that one.
Is Final Cut a little bit more difficult than CapCut?
I think so, yes. But
it's a bit more advanced. Yeah.
I think the new generation, like, they're going to be more comfortable with CapCut, especially for short form videos. So if that's something that you've played with, like, obviously stick with that.
Okay. Here's another question.
I'm Liam Farrell, an upcoming South African teen YouTuber. My question is, how consistent did you have to be in order to get monetized on YouTube?
So I believe you have to have 10,000 subscribers, and then you need a certain amount of watch hours. It's not too long. You just have to then make that volume of content.
And that's per month. Isn't it 100,000 hours or no?
I think it's a lot. It might be 100,000, but it's watch time. So all those people who watch the video add to that time as well.
Yeah. And then YouTube will say, okay, we can put the ads on your video. We'll monetize it for you.
Yes, exactly.
And then you get paid per 1,000 views. There's a specific rate, and around the world, it's all different, eh?
Yes, it's all different, and it's also depending on the niche you're in. So
Yeah.
I know, like, if you're into like finance and stuff, that's usually where it goes. Because obviously these companies, when they advertise, they want, if it's a wealthier company, let's say they're in finance, then it's going to benefit them to post on channels that talk about finance. So those people are going to be paid more, yeah.
And then you can also determine in your video how many ads you want played, hey?
Yes, on long form you can choose, like, is it going to be in the middle? Is it going to be at the start? I have to say, I think a lot of people, they focus on that at the start, which might not be a smart move.
It's a put off from the beginning, eh?
Yes, because
these are not skippable. Are these skippable ads?
Yes,
but
but
embedded in the video.
I think people don't, if the ad's in the middle, I don't think people tend to go out because they're already invested in the video.
Yeah.
But I think if you're trying to get attention around you and build a subscriber base, I don't think the extra 1 rand or 20 cents makes it worth putting an ad in the middle when you're still trying to get attention. I think get that attention first and then focus on those ads. Yeah.
And Wian, what would you say are the most lucrative niches?
For me, look, I think anything that you feel skilled at is probably what you should stick to. But someone who just purely wants to get into it, who doesn't have a certain niche they're in already, because this is just my opinion, but I think obviously then you want to go into the bigger ones. So self-development, anything related to making, if you have skills on knowing how to make money online, that's a huge one. I know a lot of girls, they like making makeup tutorials and stuff. So
those are huge.
Yes, and I think if you're going to start somewhere and you don't have anything yet, like, that's a good way to go.
And also the fitness stuff, about eating clean and all that sort of stuff. Does that do well? That's a big market, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I'm not sure, but I do think so, yeah.
And how important is research in the work that you do? Because a lot of people churn out videos without looking at their metrics, without looking at what the audience even, looks like. How much effort do you put in the research and the behind the scenes?
I think it's very important to pay attention, but I think the problem with this industry is so many things can distract you, so that you spend a lot of time looking into that, And again, like just refreshing, having a look at what's happening, where's my followers coming from, and this, when putting out the content is the best metric
Right.
to use.
Yeah.
So I think what I like to do is to just keep it simple. So yes, I do track pretty much everything, but at the start I just kept it very simple. I was just putting out the content and looking at the views. And the strategy that I use now is, like I said, I would post 10 videos. This is what I always say.
Is that
like,
10 a month?
No. I'm saying every 10 after 10 has been
okay.
posted. So what I would do is 80% of that would be my main content, the ones that tend to do good and that has done good in the past, because everyone wants to change it up because they get bored.
Yeah.
But you have to stick to what's working. Same when you get a video that's viral. A very clever idea is to then post a very similar video and to use the same song if you use the song, where everyone else just switches up immediately.
Yeah.
Because think about it, when you see a video and it's very good, the next time you see that person again and they're doing pretty much the same thing, you're going to watch it because
Yeah.
you love the first one. And almost nobody does that. And I think that's very important.
Okay, one final question here, Wian, on this fascinating discussion with you this morning.
Hi, Wian. I'm 9 years old. My name is Adam. What camera should I get so that I could start a streaming business? And I'm already streaming on the Xbox community. Bye, KFM and Wian.
For sure. Mom and Dad are now sweating, going, what camera is Wian going to talk about here? Because how long is a piece of string?
She asked what camera she should use to film or what. What was it?
Yeah, well, what, yeah.
Yeah, so look, I say use what you have. I think.
As in your phone?
Yeah, even your phone, like, just use what you have. But obviously it will help to have that better camera. I think people still relate to good quality. But what I always say is, on social media, people don't go to see TV ads. I think that's a huge one. That's why companies haven't cracked the code yet. Because they're still making TV ads for these social media ads.
Yeah.
But people go on here to see their friends, to see a regular person in the park, to see a regular person in their room. So I think that's what a lot of companies are missing out on. So yeah.
Wian, we could chat to you all day. Thank you very much for your insight and giving some tricks of the trade on how to become a content creator / influencer in 2025. I'm sure you've helped a lot of people now and inspired a lot of people.
A lot of young people also. Sure.
Yeah.
I want to start a streaming business at 9.
Of course, build that empire
Hey, yeah,
early.
it starts now.
Build it early. Wian, who's an absolute global superstar, he's the biggest content creator in South Africa, my man. You have that title unopposed, actually. 20-odd million on all your platforms. Wian,
Keep going.
just a guy from Pretoria, from the Free State, now Pretoria, that just was like, hey, I don't want to get a regular job.
Well, that is pretty much what it was. Yeah. Cool.
Amazing, Wian. Thank you very much, man. We'll post this online and we'll see how viral we go. We never really go viral.
We needed Wian, guys.